Dude, I don't know what goes on with this, but I always have to click like 4 times before I can pin this thing to Facebook. I don't
Took
know
me
why. I
like
don't
10
get it.
seconds before I could actually find it on our page too, by the way.
Yeah, I pin it and it's supposed to stay at the top, and it doesn't do that. It does it on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, but it doesn't do it on Facebook for some weird reason. I don't know, dude.
It's automatic on Twitter.
No, I have to pin it, but it stays at the
Oh.
top. You know?
Hey, so hey, answer this for me because you know more. Does this go live on Spotify or is this recorded and then sent to Spotify?
So it's recorded and then I have to upload it to Spotify.
Okay.
So it takes, I don't know, depending when I do it. Like, so I'll usually do it when we get done. So I've got to download it first from Restream, and then once it's downloaded, I'll rename it or whatever and put the show notes in and stuff on the Spotify app, which is like Spotify for podcasters now. It used to be Anchor, and then I'll upload it. So it takes, I don't know. By the time we get done and by the time it's uploaded, it's probably 20 minutes,
No, that's not too
maybe.
bad.
But I can always I can always schedule it to post like tomorrow at 5 a.m. It's what I usually would do, is post it in the morning. That way it
That
would
makes
just
sense.
show up. But now I just, whatever. If it's ready, it's ready. Just put it now. I
Yeah.
mean, more people need to hear us anyways. So, I mean, the faster they get to hear us, the better, right?
Yep, for
Guys,
sure.
welcome back to our week 6 review, week 7 look ahead. Hopefully our chat will work today. So let's see what's going to happen. So there's 12 eyes in here. So somebody go ahead, and if you're watching on Facebook, let me see. I can see there's 11 people on Facebook, one on YouTube. Types up in the chat, just say hi or something. Let's see if this thing's working.
Always wonder who
Um,
gets in off of YouTube.
There,
There you
there you
go.
go. Thank you, David. Usually it's B Damone. B Damone's like
Oh, that's what it is. It's Brandon.
he's usually the hardcore YouTuber, which
He's down here.
which we'd really like to get more of a following on, just because it's easier. I don't know. It's harder to get a following on YouTube than anything else,
Dude.
right?
Well, I think it's because I think the algorithm on there basically works because Alonzo described it one time, and it was obviously the more followers you get, the more they press your stuff, right? With the algorithm, because they're going to get once you get like 1,000 or 2,000, that's when you can get the right to get ads. I think on your videos, so that's kind of how. That's why I think we lag so far behind on the
Yeah,
YouTube growth, right?
yeah,
And we're on there every day, so.
yeah, dude. I really don't go to YouTube too much, other than when I post this thing, or look at something later in the day.
I use
But
Reddit a lot for my research now. I used to use YouTube all the time, but I use Reddit a lot. So I don't know. That might be part of it too.
I was like, what do I hear? I hear something in the background.
Is
It's
it a
this
cat?
dude's. No, it's this dude's headphones. My son's headphones. They're going. Like, there's something going on in the background that something's
He's gaming
going
or
there.
what?
He's at work.
You
But
got him working now?
oh yeah, dude. This guy. Hey man, no one rides for free in this house, dude.
Oh, what?
I'm gonna have Randall start cutting the yard here pretty soon. Once Julian's at work, I ain't cutting the yard anymore.
She's gonna need a boat to cut it right now, dude. My yard is soaked.
Oh, bad, dude. It rained all day today.
Bad.
Oh man. I guess we should start. We've got eyes in here. They're just listening to us meander on, but I kind of like that. It's our show.
Okay.
We can
So
do what we want, right?
before we start, hang on. Before we start, I called the big announcement this morning, right at 8 a.m.
That is right. It confused me.
Surprise! There's really not a big announcement other than it's Jake's birthday. So happy birthday to you, dude. But if you didn't know, last week's show, yesterday was Jake and my last day to work together. We worked 6 years together now.
6 years, yeah.
We've done the show for 6 years. So without us working together, the show would not have existed. I just wanted to say, dude, I didn't get a chance to say it at work because kind of how we lined up, but it was fun working with you. I had a blast. I'm glad we built this show together. Told myself not to get emotional, so I kind of cut it short. But it's been fun, man, and I'm gonna miss you a lot at work. And I just want the people to know we are gonna make the show go on. So we'll find a way to do it. And it was fun, dude. It was a good ride.
It was, man. It's been good, and we kind of stumbled into this on accident, right? Just talking one night. It was actually you and Flowers that were
Yeah.
talking about it one night, and I gave y'all the idea. Y'all should start a podcast, and Mark wanted no part of it, and then it just kind of grew from there. But yeah, after
Rob the
6 years,
Laser Box,
hence the show title. Jacob is unemployed, so I'm unemployed right now. Like technically, I'm unemployed till Monday, right? So I've resigned at my last position. My last day was Wednesday, and yeah, I'm kind of floating around. So I'm thinking about filing for unemployment here for these next couple of days. You know,
Come on my yard.
go help those
Oh,
guys dig
you
that
know what
pool in your backyard.
you know what you should do if you weren't going to Franklin's? You could go run chains.
I'm not going. Hey, hey, hey! I'm not going to Franklin's. Let's get that right.
Oh yeah, my bad, my bad, my bad.
Yeah.
Snows. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Thank you, Justin, for the birthday wishes. I am gonna miss. I'm gonna miss a lot of the guys out there.
Yeah,
Um,
dude.
no matter how much you hate a place or don't like a place you're at, it's always the people that make it more bearable wherever you're at. And yeah, it's gonna suck leaving you and the guys. Having to develop a new friend group and whatnot, having to be on my best behavior for probably like 6 months to a year.
Being
You
on your
know,
best behavior would be the hardest part, I think.
that is gonna be the hardest part.
Yeah.
What is
What is
this?
that? We
Oh
got
wow, look at that, dude. We got ISIS has checked in to the
ISIS.
show. We got one of those ISIS streams here. Let me see if let me get rid of that. Oh
Wow,
wow,
they're
twice.
spamming
They're
them.
doing it on live shows now. I'm gonna block this guy real quick. Block him on Facebook.
Wow, look at
Dude,
that. My
you guys
God.
coming hard.
Where does that
That
come from? Is that a
I don't know.
bot?
It is a bot there.
Wow.
Hopefully that fixes. Oh, something went wrong. Try again. I don't know, but it's still there. So we know that's not you, David. It's ISIS chiming in there. Um, anyway, so last week there was quite a few things that happened. Last week, I guess the big one that was making the rounds, if you guys hadn't seen it yet, was that referee incident up in
Dude.
up around the Dallas area, right? If
What?
you guys hadn't seen it yet, we really didn't talk about it a whole lot during the week, like reposting anything or whatnot, because it was everywhere, and we figured we'd save it for the show. But if you hadn't seen it, here it is. So the issue is with this middle linebacker bumping in the referee there, and referee ends up ripping the kid's helmet off
And throws a flag.
and throws a flag because the referee said something, or he said something to the referee,
Rightfully
which
so.
rightfully so, right? And see, there's that. There he is. See, and just that I don't understand, right? I don't understand why a ref would think that was okay. You
So
know,
did what was the punishment? They already come down
so
on it?
so they did. So they came down with the punishment. So the kid got ejected, and if you get ejected from a game, you've got to sit out a half of the next game, regardless of when it happens, regardless of when the game's played. You still have to sit that half off. Like if they had a bye week, okay, the bye week happens, you still have to sit out that first half of the next game. They reinstated the kid, and they've suspended the referee
Wow.
until pending, until this investigation's done.
You know,
Interesting plot twist. That was the head coach's son.
wow.
Yeah,
You know the disappointing thing of all that, right, is, and I don't know what part of the game that was. It was dark, so it was probably at least in the second half. But man, you took a quarter, maybe 2 quarters away from a high school kid. You only get realistically you get, for most people, if you're decent in high school football, you get a guaranteed 20 games of high school football on the varsity level for the most people. Some
yeah,
get 30, some get 40, 4-year starters, 3-year starters. And if your team's good enough, you might luck out and get 28 total, right? Because most teams get knocked out third, fourth round. That's not a lot of game time, right? In a sport that comes and goes so fast and is such a big part of like a lot of these kids' lives. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I know that's kind of a deep take, but dude, that kid might not get any more of those. He's not gonna get those quarters back, right? And to
No,
me, it doesn't seem like that was. To me, you think the other officials would have stepped in on that one. Said, "Hey,
or
what's going on?
something,
Why are we
right?
ejecting this guy?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, even if the kid were to say called him a name, right, or something like that, that still doesn't warrant you physically touching the kid and essentially assaulting him.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Um,
if he said something after the fact and that's what got him ejected, I mean, ripped his helmet
I mean,
off in the middle of
yeah,
the
I mean
game.
before, I mean, you can see like if you watched it again that he kind of like rubbed him and the referee kind of pushed him away,
Yep.
and then he went back and bumped him. Okay, okay, I get it. He got you twice, but you're part of the field, right? You got to understand that,
Yeah, he
right?
was
And
he was what? He was not even facing him. He was looking at the play.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I mean, that happens all the time in games, and the referees normally get out of the way, or if they do get banged up, they're most of them are pretty good at getting out of the way, or they take it like a man and move on. That just seemed it was like almost like I want to know the background, right? Was there had it been building up, right? Had there been other stuff going on? Did that ever come out?
No, nothing's come out. I guess that's why they're still doing the investigation or whatnot. But
Maybe
he is
that has to.
reinstated. But yeah, like you said, he still lost a half a football or a couple of quarters, whatever it was.
What last year was
Um,
the Edinburgh kid. This year it's this one.
that was 2 years ago, I think. I don't think that was
Two.
last year.
Really?
I don't know. It all blends together. It may have been last year. It may have been the year before. I don't remember.
Oh, that was
Hey,
one of the
so
wildest incidents.
yeah. So hey, I'm still kind of worried about this chat thing. So if anybody wants to just type something in real quick, just so I can make sure it's working, after
Yeah.
I kind of tried banning this sports news update thing on here, I just want to make sure that it's still David. Chime in, David. Say something. Uh, Another thing. So if you guys had saw it, it really doesn't affect us in a schedule sense, but Progreso, um, they they forfeited their game yesterday against Rio Hondo. They had an administrator pass away yesterday before school, got into a vehicle accident. So there was some questions on why did they forfeit? Progresso only has a team of 22 players, and that administrator had two sons, I think, on the team, and some other relatives. So hence they went ahead and forfeited the game. But our deepest sympathies go out to the Progresso community. Um, it's tough. That happened just like we said last week. With what happened at TM and the coach there. It's not something you expect. And that was the day before game day because that was Wednesday, I think, when it happened. They were supposed to play today. So man, and especially guys, just be careful out there on the road. Especially like today. People lose their minds when it's wet, and
Hmm.
just be very vigilant on the road. We don't need to see any more accidents like that this season. Let me see. We talked about my work change. It is my birthday. I have to show you something. My wife got me something today. I'm not a big. I don't need a whole lot to make myself happy. Right. I wanted to watch Lord of the Rings today, but I had to run errands today. But she got me these dope cookies um
Dang.
for my birthday from Rachel's Cookie House. Rachel's a local lady here in Odom that used to work with my wife, and she's gone on to be a full-time mom and full-time baker. Um, but yeah, so thank you, Rachel. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Julian and Raina for allowing me another year here and allowing me to be your husband and father. Right.
Those are nice cookies.
Yeah, man, and they're very good. So shortbread, man, they got a short shelf life, right? Because once you wait too long on those things, they start getting too hard. So I've downed like 3, and I
Oh
got
my
them
god.
probably about an hour ago. Uh, some other news that has popped up over the last couple of days. Ingleside quarterback Aiden Jacobson was named the Built for Tough Player of the Week this week for his 9 touchdown performance. I think, was it 8, something like that. It was a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah.
Um,
8
and
touchdowns.
and Jaden Smith was nominated for Mr. Texas Football this week as well. Aiden was also named quarterback of the week for the small 4A school. So man, those Ingleside boys are racking up the accolades this week.
Big time, dude. Big time.
Yeah,
They've been doing it all year, right? And finally getting a little recognition up north.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
huge. Built for tough
yeah,
player of the week. It's crazy. That's a if you go actually look at that stat or just the guys that are in that, a lot of times, out of the I think the 15 weeks or whatever they do it, however long it runs, there's 2 to 3 that normally make it to the NFL. Definitely
yeah,
some that made it to the college level.
yeah.
I know my year, it was the God. He was a running back for the Dolphins for a little bit. Um, it'll come to me later, but he was. I went back one
Ricky
day. And
Williams.
I was just looking. No, I was just looking at it, and it was it was shocking to me. I was like, wow, I didn't even realize that dude and me were in the same, uh, you know, graduation
Yeah,
class, right? And here I am
yeah,
picking up fantasy football at one point in life, right? So it's kind of crazy how that comes around.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, you never know who's going to be on that list and where they're going to be in the next 5 to 6 years.
Exactly.
Right. So, and those guys both have bright futures. So we wish
Yes.
them the best. Aiden, I think he was a week 1 Elite Tank Solutions Player of the Week nominee. And
Yep.
Jaden is one this week. Right. So
Yep.
hang on to the end of the show. We'll see who wins that one. Pretty tight race. Very tight race. I will give you a hint on that. That's about as far as I'm going to say. So let's jump into last week. Last week, Not a whole lot of games that were of note or any major significance as far as playoff races and whatnot goes down or leads to district championships or whatnot. But we'll start at the top of the big school. Corpus Christi Miller at Victoria West, 66-42 Miller.
Was
We
that
both
West
won
or
this
East?
one. Uh, did I write West down?
I wrote East down.
It is East. My bad. I wrote it down on the wrong sheet. It is East. My
Okay,
bad. Because West played Ray.
there it is. Because East is playing Ray tonight.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. So the Miller boys went off. You know, the usual suspects. Trevor threw for 234 yards, 4 touchdowns. Broderick Taylor ran for 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also a week 6 Elite Tank Solutions Player of the Week nominee. And Corey Holmes also pushed over 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. But you know, East, they've got some playmakers as well, man. They were able to score 42 on that one. It was pretty. Miller didn't have that big of a lead going into halftime, if I remember right in that game. And you know, it's a close ball game. It's what you can expect from those Victoria schools, right?
I can tell you one
I
thing, man. That Victoria East school has a good amount of athletes, man. They were the ones that we talked about when they played Portland earlier on in the season, and when I watched that game, and we talked about it. Victoria always, if they can make that one team again, dude, they would be
dude,
really really stout.
dude,
Really,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
hmm
Just the amount of athletes
As
they have over there is crazy.
as far as the tally went, we both had Miller in that one, so we both get the W in that one.
Yep.
Next game, Cal Allen at Kingsville, 22-17. Cal Allen. Um, the Cal Allen defense is playing very well right now, very well. The offense is still trying to find their way. I think they switched quarterbacks last week, is the report I got from my Cal Allen homies
They
in
switched
our little.
quarterbacks again.
Yeah, they went with the other kid for a little while. I guess Dennis was having a little bit of was struggling that game, so they tried to put the other kid in, and I can't remember his name. Um, yeah, but they're still trying to find their way, man. Luke's still chugging away, got 100 yards, I think 107 on the day. Jude Hernandez, the outstanding linebacker, who's newcomer of the year last year. Um, he was even getting some carries. I think he ran for like 87 yards last week as well.
Jude's a
Um,
good running back. He's a big kid.
yeah, he's a very big kid, very good linebacker too. But you know, I think Cal just did their thing, held onto the ball as much as they can. I heard officiating was kind of iffy in that game as well.
It's been
Um,
bad all year, right?
yeah. So Felipe was 42-14 when East went on a roll. So there you go. So I had it backwards. Salinas, thank you, Robert. There's Bomb checking in.
There he
So
is.
so Robert, we should have talked about this. I went to a Brazilian jiu-jitsu tournament this weekend. Our sponsor, Elite Tank Solutions, they also own Gracie Baja in Cal Allen. So they competed this weekend. And my niece was competing, and Robert's son, Bane, who's what, 8? Robert, I think, right?
Neat.
Bane boxes. He does Muay Thai. He's into jiu-jitsu.
Beats up
Any
Robert.
any kind of he beats up Robert. Any kind of hand-to-hand combat this kid does, and I think he's 11. Okay. Uh he swept in his division. I think he ended up with 4 golds in his competition. I think that was his first time competing as well. So that was pretty neat. If you ever been to a jiu-jitsu tournament, it is very interesting. Very interesting. I suggest you go to one. Check it out.
Is he still playing football, Bomb? Is he still in the football circuit? Waiting.
He'll answer in a little bit.
Yeah, he'll answer.
So the next game, the game you were supposed to go to but didn't end up going to because you got an altercation with some meth heads. Edna at London,
Yeah.
35-0. Edna. I don't know if you want to go into that story. That probably would have been a good intro story. Maybe we'll save that one for the end.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, it's kind of how we figured it was going to go. Edna, they've got too many playmakers. Jaden Clay
It's a good team, dude. It's a really
Kate
good team.
Rodas at running back. They're very good. They provide a very big 1-2 punch. I expect them to win that district along with everybody else, right? I mean, we're not the only ones that are going to think they're going to win that district. We were both right in that one, 35-0. We both had Edna on that one. Santa Rosa at Odom, 44-27 Odom. This gave Odom a inside shot to the district championship. It looked
Big
like
win.
it was going to be a 3-way. It still can be depending how the season shakes out, it was going to be a 3-team race between Santa Rosa, Odom, and Hebbronville. So Santa Rosa took the first loss in that little 3-way, whatever you want to call it. Um, it should have been a lot. Santa Rosa scored a touchdown late in the game. Odom penalties, killing them. Little penalties, offsides, not remembering plays, delays a game, causing unnecessary timeouts and things like that. They need to clean it up, especially if they want to get far.
They're in week
or even
7 now.
They're in week 7 now. That stuff should have been cleaned up week 2, week 3.
Yeah.
But they need to clean it up as things go forward because nothing's going to be handed to these guys. And then it goes down to our game of the week. I ended up at that game at halftime because our game of the week, Refugio at Three Rivers, 59-14. Refugio continued with the 5-year trend of Refugio scoring 50-something in that game. And I was gone by halftime.
Steady rolling.
Yeah, I mean, they're just fast, man. I mean, they are fast. It's going to be hard for any of these local teams to keep up with these guys.
It's going to be hard for the teams in the Region 3 to keep up with these guys. I mean, that's a lot of speed on that team. Very well coached. The offense is molded really well to what they got. And we've come to expect it from them. I mean, for decades now, but like this last, 10-year run with Herring in them has been probably one of the more impressive runs they've had in history, I would think. Your locals might argue that, but I mean, if you really start putting numbers and stat lines up, it's pretty impressive, dude. It's a hell of a run they're on right now.
Yep.
That's statewide, like legacy type run with the Cadies and the South Lakes. Especially when you break it down into their division.
Well, you see those lists that pop up every week, right? Or every so weeks from DCTF about the most winningest programs and things like that, and they're always there. Yep. Along with Cal Allen, and well, I guess those are the only two out of Region 4. But so that says something. So that will jump us to next week. We have no stickers this week. I think we only got 1 or 2 highlights. Wasn't really enough, so we'll hold that off for next week and give off a couple. Guys, please send those highlights in, guys. We just want to reward you guys. We're getting those stickers out finally.
I'm overloading stickers.
You're probably right, Quentin. Timpson's number 1, right? From Region 3. They're 1 in the state. Refugio's number 2. We saw that game, which is apparently the most expensive high school football stadium in Texas, that Cy-Fair Stadium, which is a gorgeous stadium. If you guys are fans of stadium, that's a good one, man. That's a very good one. I think we had no idea it was the most expensive stadium at the time when we were there. But
was that not shocking when I sent you that list the other day?
That was very shocking.
Right.
So this week, right, we'll jump into this week's games. Not a whole lot, man. I think everything's going to start picking up.
Week 8.
Yeah. So first game we got on the docket, Corpus Christi Vets at Victoria West. Last season was 45-31 Vets. Vets is 4-1, 2-0 in district with a 63-8 win over Ray last week. West is 2-3, 2-0 in district with a 50-6 win over Moody. So they've played Ray or King, I think, King and Moody, because they're at Ray right now, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
No, never mind. East is at Ray.
East is at Ray.
East and West. Vets is averaging 41 points a game right now, and they're giving up about 16 on average. That's including the loss. BW3, he's continuing to grow, man. Threw for 255 yards last week, 4 touchdowns. They got a new little wrinkle in the offense. A kid that we thought was going to be in the running for the quarterback spot this year, Davian Garcia, the athlete, he ran for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. He's a sophomore. Contributed a lot on special teams as the season went. I think they found a new role for him. West, on the other hand, here's a stat that caught my eye last week. When they played Moody ran 30 more plays than West did last week. On those 46 snaps that West took on offense, they gained 431 yards. So I imagine the starters had very limited time in there. Moody's got a ball control offense, and we've talked about this in the past, is when you've got one of those offenses, you've got to score, right? Because if you're chewing up all this clock and you're playing a team that's going to score at the drop of a hat, you need to convert on those chances you have. And that they kept shooting themselves in the foot, man. They'd have these long drives, 9-10 play drives, and nothing came out of it because they'd get a penalty they'd turn over on downs or they'd do something. Um, so I think they just got to get over that hump, dude. Again, just like I said about Odom, these can't make those mistakes in these crucial times. But I,
Exactly.
th- I think if you're not used to being in those positions, and that's not saying anything about the kids. Moody's not. Let's be realistic. They're not a continual winner, right?
No.
They don't win a lot there. And if you're not used to winning, not knowing how, not used to being in those situations, um, sometimes that stress will get to you, right? So yeah, there you go. Moody had a 10-minute drive to open the third quarter and came away empty.
See,
You
that'll
know,
just kill you. That
yeah,
right there will kill you. And you're right, dude. Moody, really outside of honestly, man, Carroll and Vets. I'm sorry, Miller and Vets. It's been tough sledding for the CCISD schools as of late. And
yes,
it's kind of and to me, we've kind of fallen a little bit behind the eight ball of the Victoria schools. We have our two mains, and then the Victoria schools, and then we kind
yep,
of the rest of our CCISD kind of just stumbles in line behind them, and it's a shame. I think Carroll's getting back to its ways, but as of right now, as of late, the Victoria schools have had the upper hand on those three. I just don't think they have the upper hand on the two top ones, right? Which kind of leads me, and doesn't lead me, but it swings me immediately into Vets territory for this week for sure.
yeah.
I
I don't know
think
if you
Vets,
saw.
go
I don't
for
know
it.
if you saw David's comment here a little while ago. Carroll 7, Moody 6 at the half.
See, that's but see, I think Carroll will come away with that one. I think that gets flipped up for sure.
Yeah.
I think Carroll will come away with that. I'm gonna take Carroll on that one.
Yeah, I will too. In this case, I think they'll bounce back. Oh, we didn't pick that game. Well, we're still on it.
I
Never
think
mind.
Vets. I'm
So
rolling Vets.
so West, going on with West, they had 200-yard runners last week. Kamari Montgomery, who's one of the guys that we featured preseason as one of the best running backs in the area, and Zorian Burfield. They both had 100 yards. Montgomery had 112, 3 touchdowns, and Barfield had 103 and a touchdown. I guess the biggest thing that's probably gonna be the difference maker in this game is can West win the line of scrimmage
Yeah.
in this game? I mean, that's going to be key, right? We know that Vets is kind of struggled on the offensive line as this season has progressed. A whole lot of new faces there on the defensive line. They got a whole lot of new faces as well. So I think that's what this game's going to come to. I think it's going to be close. Last week it was pretty close last year, 45-31. I think it's going to be close again this year, but I'm going to take Vets in a nudge, you know.
The thing with Vets, and I haven't had a chance to get eyes on them yet. Did we get our passes yet?
No, because he wasn't there when I got there. He was in a meeting, so I had
Okay.
to hand everything off over to Chavez, and Chavez was on his way out the door. So
Okay.
so
Well,
I I may I may try to swing by during the day tomorrow.
Uh, well, okay. So this leads me with Vets, right? Well, now I won't go too long on it, but we've talked about it off camera, and I've talked about it with a lot of people. The thing that's made Vets for me the last couple years that pushes them over the edge over Miller, right? It seems like what the hump is with them is they always are controlling the line offensively and defensively, right? They always are winning up front. It's why they beat PSJ last year the way they did was they won up front. Skill wise, man, they're always going to have good athletes at Vets. They're going to be sound. BW3s came in and it just keeps on continuing, right? You almost don't even remember Carter center fit, right? Of a
Yeah.
couple years ago. And he was an outstanding athlete. It's just that's the kind of dudes that they keep bringing into the system. And if you really go back further, David Soto was at the helm of it. I mean, really leading this charge of
He
where they're
he
at.
kicked it off. Yeah.
So the thing with them that makes them usually the top dog is winning the line up front. So that is to me the question mark, right, for them moving forward against Miller. And obviously, I think we all start looking ahead for PSJ North too. But it's winning the line up front. It's always kind of been their little upper hand. That's their secret
Yep.
sauce. So curious to go put some eyes on them. You can only take so much for granted or for people's word, right, until you see the eye test yourself. But that's just something I think we should monitor, right, as it
Yep.
goes further on into the football season.
Got a score update from AC. Sitting 12, Robstown 7. So they did start the third quarter. I saw a guy for a sitting fan in Austin said they were, or in Arlington said they were starting to rain there and it may be getting delayed. So I guess they did start. So that's kind of a surprise score there too. Sitting 12, Robstown 7. That was the score going into the half.
Very shocking.
Yep. Next game on the docket. Falfurrias at Lyford. Another some small school love, right? So last season, 26-22 Foul. Foul's currently 3-2. This is the first district game for both teams. They're coming off a 33-32 loss to San Antonio Young Men's Leadership Academy. And Lyford is 5-0. Again, kicking off district with this game with a 27-7 win over Bishop. They also had a kid. His name is Aiden. I don't remember his last name. He was also a quarterback of the week from Panini. So congratulations. Lyford's been putting together a pretty good season so far. Foul, it's the Renee Martinez show, right? Week 1 player of the week, Elite Tank Solutions player of the week. He's already eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark on the season. I think he did that last week. He's got 1,005 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's like I said, leading the area, big school and small school. Mark Gonzalez is starting to light up the passing game a little bit. He's got 661 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and he's run for 143 and another 3 scores. Lyford, Aiden Olivas, that's his name. I knew I wrote it down somewhere. He's quarterback of the week for 3A, for Big 3A. He's passed for 1,463 yards, 11 touchdowns, and he's run for 509 and 4 touchdowns. He's leading them on the ground as well as in the air. They've got a couple of receivers, Adrian Chavez, Isaiah Gonzalez, and 5 others that have scored a touchdown. Adrian's leading them with 21 receptions, 3 touchdowns. Isaiah is coming in second with 18 and 2 touchdowns. But over there, it looks like it's the Aiden Olivas show over there. And they're going to go and go and go based on the quarterback. What I'm hearing, it's going to be a pretty evenly matched game. Whoever makes the most big plays or takes advantage of the big play is going to probably win that one.
So I want to lean Foul, right? Because I feel like they're closer to us. We cover their kids more. But the more I've dug into it, right, I lean more and more towards Lyford, right? And I think it's a close game, probably a 2-score difference. But I'm really feeling Lyford in this one. I just think they're going to have a little more pop. It'd be curious to see how they handle Renee, right? He's been going off, right? Ruben left that place in a really good spot. But at the moment right now, I think I'm going to lean with Lyford in this game for sure.
Keep talking. I'm going to look up. I'm going to see if I can get Renee's stats, what he did against Lyford last year. So keep
I
talking.
bet you it was every bit of 200 plus with Foul. And if you go to look at like some of the rankings as well, like we have some off script rankings courtesy of your buddy Luke, and they got Lyford just slightly ahead of Falfurrias. What is have you looked to see what DFW or DCTF has put the prediction line on this game?
I have not. Hey, but Renee threw for 25 yards last year.
Trick play out of Ruben's book, right?
Yeah, he must have. It was one attempt, 1 completion, 25 yards, 137.5 quarterback rating. Good job, Renee. And he actually ran for 165 and a score.
And what was the final on that one last year?
It was 26-22.
Oh, Foul.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, Foul.
I'm gonna take that, but I'm gonna take it in reverse this year. I got Lyford going that way.
Okay. You wanted me to look at the
line,
at the prediction, right? The line.
Yep.
Okay.
I love the line.
Here we go. Let me see. I'm gonna have to log in. I haven't logged in yet. All right.
Cool.
All right. Here we go. 3A. 3A D1. Okay. Oh, hang on. That's why. This is kind of it's really messy the way they do this. So they've got Lyford by 11 with a 73.2% chance. I'm gonna go with the underdog in this one. I'm gonna take Foul.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Foul. Oh, you know what? We went over those scores last week. We are tied now, folks. Yep. As far as the pick'em goes, we did not talk about that. I forgot. So
I was going to. You kept on
Justin
going, so I wasn't going to out myself.
Justin dropped the Santa Rosa game, so we are now even. What is our record?
31-10.
31-10. So this could be the difference maker here. One of us is going to go ahead again. I'm going to take foul. He's got Lyford in this one. Next game we got on the schedule. Some more small school football. Ben Bolt at Fremont. Last week it was 42-20, or last year, 42-20, Ben Bolt. Ben Bolt's 3-2. First district game for both these teams with a 20-8 win over Pettis. Fremont is 2-2 with a 29-0 loss at Santa Gratuitous Academy.
SGA, dude.
Couldn't find a lot. Who's also putting together a pretty good season. I think they're 4-1.
They are. We got a boy on that team.
Fremont, their stats are not updated, but they've got a good runner. He's in the top 10 in rushing for small schools. Julian Ortiz, 435 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. Ben Bolt's got a trio of playmakers. Running back Devin Goodings, his kind of, if you follow social media, he's there. 482 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. Wide receiver Darius Elizarde, 344 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns. And quarterback Lewis Sill, 271 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. I think Jordan Harwell is a coach there. Jordan, son of Alan Harwell. I think he's there at Ben Bolt now. He was at Carroll last year or the year before.
Well, it's the Carroll coaching staff, I think, that went to Ben Bolt, no?
Really?
I believe the head coach at Carroll went over to Ben Bolt. I want to say, I think that's what my buddy Sonny told me.
No. He went to Amarillo, remember? Okay. He went somewhere up north.
See, I know someone from I'm pretty sure someone from Carroll went over there to get that job.
Yeah.
He probably took some of the assistants.
Some of the staff. Yeah, maybe. I have to look back into ask your boy Sonny from Sonny's Pools. So yeah, I'm going to throw something at you here. So there's a mutual. Hang on. There's a mutual opponent here, right? That mutual opponent was Santa Gratuitous.
Okay.
So Fremont lost to them. Ben Bolt beat them. That is the one loss on that Santa Gratuitous schedule is Ben Bolt. They won 16-14 in week 3. Give me the Badgers. Give me the Badgers.
Yep.
Right. And looking at the schedule, Ben Bolt has the bigger wins. You know, they put on some points. They've done what they've had to do. But, you know, they beat a bigger school. And that was a win that probably shocked a lot of folks. So I'm going to go with the Badgers in this one, too.
So, hey, so you can answer this, right? Because you always say it. Where did the Polito Blanco? What is the Polito Blanco? Is that another like our line, kind of like how Ed Roy and
I think that's like a colonia out there. I think is what it is. The Badgers, home of our boy J.R. Castillo, and our kind of boy
Jose Trevino.
Right, he's kind of our boy by association, right? By association.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like a colonia, like Ed Roy or something, or Bethel.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and that takes us to our game of the week. Last game of the week on the docket. Last big one. Everybody probably sure knows what it is. It's everybody else's big game of the week. Alice at Toloso Midway. Last season, 49-19 Alice. Alice is 3-1 with that loss to Veterans Memorial. 1-0 in district. They're coming off a bye. TM is 6-0 for the first time in school history. They're 2-0 in district with a 47-7 win over the Money La Feria last week. This winner out of this game, it's a pretty big impact game. The winner of this one gets the leg up on the road to the district championship against. I mean, it's Cal Allen till they lose it.
Crash course, right? It's Cal Allen till you lose it.
Yep, it's Cal Allen till they lose it. Man, it's gonna be a good one.
This one's tough to pick.
It is. Hey, so there it is right there. So thanks, Chris. This was what happened last week. Yeah, that we missed because our chat was down. So San Diego quarterback Jaden Lozano threw for 260 yards, 3 passing, 60 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, a loss to Orange Grove. These playing lights out this year. I remember I've told you that. I mean, they've got a bunch of human missiles on that defensive side of the ball. They play SGA. I think I'm going to pick San Diego in that one for tomorrow. There you go. There's one we can throw in there a little. Add that one in there. I'll
put that in the docket. I'm going to take it. I'll take SD. I want SD as well in that game.
Yeah, I think I'll take them too.
Take San Diego.
Yeah, I picked San Diego. Alice, they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this TM defense, right? Which is only, man, I think I wrote this down somewhere.
It's
I
our
did not
buddy.
write it down. I did not write it down. That's what I get. Oh, actually, there it is. They've only given up 34 points this season. Um, you've got some folks saying, they haven't played anybody. They haven't played anybody. But that's the schedule. It's what it was. It's what it is. It's what it was last year, right? You can't change the schedule, right?
No.
You can't change it mid alignment. You can't do that. But they've done what they've had to do, and they've beat people the way they should have beaten people,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, don't give me a strength of schedule thing right now. I mean, it is what it is. They've taken care of their schedule. They've done what they had to do. They've put up a lot of points, and they've given up very few,
Yeah,
right? So
I hate the strength of schedule argument, man, because dude. Honestly, high school football is such a bowl of spaghetti sometimes, dude. I mean, look at the
yeah,
situation you got in the 5A realm with Flower Bluff. Like, who's Flower Bluff, right? Who's Cal Allen? Like, you beat Flower Bluff, and then you struggle against Kingsville, and you struggle against Zapata. Like, you only put up 20 something points on those teams. Like, in Cal Allen standards, that's not good. And then you come in, you beat Flower Bluff. So like the strength of schedule is, I get it, right? It's easy for people to go in and grab and be like, oh, wait, they haven't played no one. Well, okay, they've played no one, but they've also blown out no one. That's what they were supposed to do. Like, you can't help who
yeah,
your
yeah.
opponent is sometimes, right? Flower Bluff and Portland have basically a valley district right now, and if they don't go and blow these valley teams out the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, then that's when you put a question mark. Hey, what's going on here? What is something wrong? But when you come in and you blow these teams out, and you've only allowed 34 points, that's solid. Like, you can't ask for much more. And then let's not forget who this is we're talking about. This is Teloso Midway, a team that's never had much success in football to date. Like, since they've existed, they have really not been
Yeah, yeah.
having much success at all. If you haven't got the chance to watch the interview with Coach, terrific interview. Look at some of the guys they picked up on that staff, right? Great guys. They're doing a lot with that program. The community's starting to get behind this program. Youth football is getting behind this program. A lot of things that are going on in that TM area, and we see it. We work in it, right? It's starting to boom, and I'm just like
Well,
everyone
you
else, right?
you work there. I don't work there anymore.
Yeah, true. I work there still. You're starting to see it boom a little bit, right? And I was one of the ones that I never really took TM very serious, but here I am. I'm taking them serious. Uh, it's a tough game. Coach Castellanos been preparing, but give me the Warriors, dude. I want TM in this game. I think the way that coaching staff handles themselves, they hear the talk, right? Oh, they have these dudes haven't played no one, right? These kids are probably buying into the whole us versus everyone hating on us, right? Mentality that's going on. So give me TM, dude. I'll take the Warriors.
So Alice, like I said, they've had 2 weeks to prepare. They've got a lot of playmakers on offense, man. Quarterback, wide receiver, running back. They are not lacking for players. They're averaging about 340 yards a game and 32 points a game, so they're scoring.
Yep.
Um,
They always
but
do.
this is going to be TM's first test, right? As far as facing a really high-powered offense. They've got a young quarterback there, and the biggest knock I hear is TM throwing the ball. They've got playmakers as well, man. But they may have some issues throwing the ball. Um, Dave Campbell's says it's too close to call.
Really?
50.1% that. Hang on, I want to make sure I'm reading this row correctly. That Alice is going to win.
Wow. 50.1.
50.1%.
Wow, that's close.
Yeah.
Been there.
So, man, I'm gonna go with my gut, dude, because I'm gonna say TM. You know, it,
Oh,
I'm gonna say TM. I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna go with what my gut says. Um, oh man, I'd really like to go to this game. We had already gotten the green light to go.
dude.
I will not be here this weekend. I'm going out of town tomorrow. Taking a little birthday trip. Kind of, we mentioned it earlier. I'm going to Snow's Barbecue in Lexington. We're taking the family up there. Uh, got a little Airbnb at probably the only place you could stay in Lexington, other than your car. So it's like 3 blocks away from Snow's. I'll be getting up probably about 2 in the morning. to head to get in line at 3. I've got some energy drinks on deck. I've got some beers on deck. It's gonna be me, Julian, my cousin Isaac, and then
What kind of
the
beers?
Lone Stars.
Dude,
Unleaded, dude. I can't do the leaded stuff anymore, dude.
the only thing that
Uh,
would have been better would have been like a whole thing of Modelo, dude. Just really trash that place up a little bit.
I'm gonna take some stickers down there and stick them on the wall there to say that we were there. So Friday night, I'm actually gonna go check out a Lexington Eagles game. I've talked to the powers that be over there, and they're gonna let me get sideline access for that game. So I'll be checking out the Lexington Eagles, and I think, and I never looked into it. I think they once stayed a couple years ago. Um, but
They've always
they've
been
got
a
some
power.
yeah.
They've always had a really good program, and they're one of the ones that you'll see them have maybe a down year here or there, but it's right back to business immediately following.
Yeah, and
So,
that whole region there, that whole area is. Oh, Tidehaven gave up 7 points last week. They gave up some points last week
hey,
in a 14-7 win over East Bernard last week.
what year are we thinking they won state? Last year they were 10-1. They won.
Maybe I'm gonna just go to Max Preps to look them up on
I'm
Max
looking at
Preps.
it now. I'm going. It's been a minute. 2017 they were 13-1. They
Maybe that
lost
was
to
the year.
bowling. I think that was the year bowling went to state. I want to say. I think 2016 they were 10-4. Same result, lost to bowling. Those are the 2 years where
I think it
bowling
was it was
had
bowling went.
a
Yeah,
really good quarterback and a good running back at the time. One of them was committed to A&M for a little bit there.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
That must have been that year then. So they've had some deep runs, and bowling's actually in their district.
and I think it was the 2010-2011 season. They were 14-1. They beat Refugio and then lost to Idalou
Shit, they
for
actually beat
state.
Odom. They actually beat Odom in 2017. Yeah, in the second round. But yeah, so that's where I'll be this weekend.
Good pedigree
Um,
football.
yeah, so we'll go check it out. We'll see how that is, and so you'll see some updates from me on from Lexington, and you may see some shots in the middle of the night there at waiting in the line at Snows, making some conversation with the folks out there.
So have you figured out
Uh,
what you're gonna get?
I'm gonna get a little bit of everything, dude. I think that's what I'm gonna do. There's gonna be 6 of us there, or 5 of us there. So I mean, we'll just kind of pick pieces off it, pick it, and just kind of go that way. I think that's the best way to go, honestly, is to just get a big order of a little bit of everything.
Have you looked like anywhere to see what the what is the ticket item there? Is it the brisket? Is that the
It's the brisket.
okay? Because I've seen them pull up the pork steaks. So I was curious if that was one of their low key little hidden gems. You know what I mean?
Man, I don't know. I don't know.
I've seen
Anybody
her
anybody
manhandling
watch
those pork steaks.
anybody watching the show ever been to Snows? If so, reach out. Let me know what is a must have.
So you got to get a
Right.
picture with Tootie if you can.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely Tootsie.
Yeah, Tootsie. There you go.
Yeah, oh definitely. That's definitely gonna happen. If I had a hat, I'd give her a hat.
Oh, that'd be
Um,
dope.
I don't think we have any extra ones.
Stickers for
Uh
sure.
oh yeah. So before we go, I mentioned it earlier in the show. The Player of the Week nominee award voting, man, Orange Grove and Odom showed out this week as far as voting went. Um, and it came down to, and this happens all the time. I think people forget, and I try to say, when I say you can vote on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, you don't just get one vote. You essentially get 2 votes because you get the Facebook vote and you get the vote on Twitter, right?
Yes.
So you get 2 votes. And I think people are only voting on most folks are voting on Facebook. They're not going to Twitter. And the Twitter is essentially what's pushing people over the top when they're very close on Facebook. So, man, I have not had to approve so many people I'd say the last 12 hours to come in and vote. Um, We almost had 4,000 votes. This one, I don't think we've ever seen one that big.
No.
Um, so on Facebook, Diego took it. So it was a 2-horse race. It was between Diego Garza out of Orange Grove and Josh Chavita out of Odom. Diego took it on Facebook by 5 votes. 5 votes. But when you go to Twitter, um, Josh ran away with it. Our player of
Yeah.
the week, our Elite Tank Solutions player of the
Chavita.
week for week 6, Odom quarterback Josh Chavita. Congratulations, Josh. Um, we'll be out soon enough with a trophy, helmet award. He had a very good game. There's a big piece of why Odom has won triple the games they won last year.
Yep.
And a good reason why they're kind of got the leg up for that district championship. Diego, congratulations. You had a great week as well, in a big game last week. Odom, again, they were both big games.
For me,
Which is
whenever
what we're.
yeah, no, go for it.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, the thing with Diego, man, is what, and I've talked about this before with our Elite Tank Solutions player, right? There's tons of kids sometimes that we can put on this list, and it's hard, right, to pick which one. We have repeat offenders that continue to put up great stats across the Coastal Bend, but something I like to kind of like help myself lean and make it a little easier is put in perspective what that game meant, right, when it was played. And if you go back and look at that game between Santa Rosa and Odom, like you said earlier, man, that's a potential district championship winning game, right? And for Diego to come in there and kind of put the team on his back and put up that kind of a game and that kind of a situation, right? Still early, but to me, it had a little more meaning, right? And I felt like Diego, for me personally, would have been one of the front runners of this week, and it was nice to see him capture that, right? No bias, but because you actually first list you sent me, there's only 3. You're all, hey, find a fourth. I'm looking. I was like, oh, dude, that's a no doubt, like no brainer. Like put him on there, and so it was nice. That's a good win for Odom, right? Much better than
Yeah.
last year. Yeah. And it's cool to see Diego get that trophy this week. Heck of a voting. Or, I'm sorry, Josh. Dude, the voting was out of this world this week. 4,000, right? 4,000 votes.
4,000.
That's a ton, dude.
Hey, now let's get those 4,000 folks that voted. Go like our Facebook page. Not just the voting page. Go like our Facebook page, because the whole reason that we have that separate group is because we don't have enough followers to put the voting option on our page. So when we get, hey man, when we get that 10,000, we're able to put those polls back on our page, and we can kind of get rid of that group. Because I hate going back and forth. It's a pain in the butt.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, let's turn those group votes into some follows. Justin, you got anything else before we go?
No, man, that's pretty much it. This is another solid week.
And the stakes are gonna just keep rising these next few weeks, guys. We got some big ones coming up on the horizon. We got a big one this Friday, just like we said, in TM and Alice. TM and Cal Allen's creeping up. Vets and Miller is coming up. Odom and Hebbronville, that's coming up. And GP Flower Bluff's creeping around the corner as well.
Yep. And yeah, Robert, you're right. TM has never beat Alice.
Hey, man. Hey, wow. Okay, guys. With that being said, we will sign off, and we'll see you guys next week, man. Again, just like we said, comment, like, subscribe, go to our Facebook page, give us a follow, tell your friends, and we'll see. Wow. Hey, dude.
What?
Next week, you're going to be on nights, dude.
I know.
I'm going to have to find a guest host next week.
I know.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm saying. We'll have to figure it out somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll be looking for a guest host next week. So reach out. Some of our media friends, if you want to come on the show, we'll be more than we'd more than love to have you on. And we'll go with it. We'll go with it from there. Yeah. Q, Len, Ray. Yeah. Support your local booster clubs. Don't stream the game. Go to the game. right? Support your local booster clubs. Support your local school clubs, right? Whatever it is, FFA selling those turkey legs or those sausage
Sausage
wraps.
wraps.
Your band selling those concessions at the concession stands. Your booster selling t-shirts, hats, whatever. Go to the games. Get out of your house. Support your school district. Support your team. Support your kids. All right, guys. With that being said, we will let you go, and we'll see y'all next week.